Depending on who you ask, Michael Jordan is either the first or the second greatest basketball player of all time. Despite his success on the court, Jordan also had a well-known gambling problem. In today's video, we'll take a closer look at Michael Jordan's alleged gambling addiction and dive into the dirty details of his history as a high roller. To many, Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. He led the Chicago Bulls to six NBA championships and won the Finals MVP all 6 times. He also earned 5 regular season MVP awards. Some of his other accomplishments are being a 14-time All-Star, a 10-time scoring champion, and a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. However, alongside his outstanding achievements on the court, Jordan has also been known for his gambling habits, which have been widely reported in the media. Despite denying that he had a gambling problem in 1993, Jordan's history as a gambler dates back to his high school days and continued throughout his college and professional career. Jordan frequently gambled with his teammates, who he would often play cards with on team charters. He was known to be a relentless card shark and was willing to play for almost any stakes, simply for the competition. He even played with rookie teammates, despite the advice of coaches. In addition to cards, golf was another expensive form of gambling for Jordan. He was known to have gambled large sums of money on the golf course and was even forced to testify in court over a $57,000 check that he had written to a well-known gambler and suspected drug dealer. While Jordan's gambling habits were well documented, it's important to note that they were not a problem for him during his basketball career. However, they did cause a strain on his relationships and were a distraction at times. He has since acknowledged that it was a problem for him and has sought help to overcome it. Despite this, his legacy as one of the greatest basketball players of all time remains untarnished. Now, let's take a look at some of his most well-known gambling stories. Number 1. $100,000 rock, paper, scissors bet. Many of Michael Jordan's teammates have spoken about his love for gambling. They say that Jordan would bet on almost anything, from card games to minor competitions with his teammates. Jay Williams, one of Jordan's former teammates, described the extent of these crazy bets, saying that Jordan would bet 20 grand on games like rock, paper, scissors, and dice. 20 grand? Can I get some? He also warned people not to get caught in the same situation where you find yourself down 100 grand and get pressured to chase your losses in a game of rock, paper, scissors for such high amounts. Number 2. Golf bets. Michael Jordan loved to play golf, and he loved to bet big while doing it. Charles Barkley, Sir Charles, who often played golf with Jordan, has shared stories about the large sums of money that he would bet while playing. According to Barkley, the bets were usually even between him and Jordan, but he would often see Jordan betting large sums of money, such as $100,000 or even $300,000 per hole. Barkley recalls a time when he was asked to step aside to allow Jordan to take a putt for $300,000. He said that while he understood Jordan's love for gambling, he never understood why they were playing for such large sums of money. But Barkley isn't the only one Jordan was playing golf with. According to businessman Richard Esquinas, Michael Jordan wasn't a great golfer. In his book Michael and Me, Our Gambling Addiction, My Cry for Help, Esquinas wrote that Jordan owed him $1.2 million from golfing bets and refused to pay the full amount. Oh boy, that'll get you cut. However, Jordan denied this claim in an interview with Ahmad Rashad before the '93 NBA Finals. He stated that he would be sick if he lost $1.2 million and that Esquinas would be sick if he reduced it to $300,000. Jordan believed that he exaggerated this amount simply to sell more books. Number 3. 36-hour gambling spree. Ever since the airing of The Last Dance documentary in 2020, many gambling stories about Michael Jordan have come to light. He's always had a fondness for competition, particularly when there's a lot on the line. A few years ago, former NBA player Antoine Walker shared a story about Jordan, revealing that a 36-hour gambling spree nearly cost them both $1 million and delayed Jordan's return to the NBA. Antoine Walker, who recently appeared on a podcast, shared a story about the time he and Jordan played in a 36-hour game of spades. According to Walker, they were nearly down $1 million during that game, but ultimately only lost 20 grand. Chump change. He also revealed that this game took place around the same time that Jordan was announcing his return to the NBA, and that Jordan had to delay the press conference due to gambling. It's worth noting that Jordan had the money to gamble because of the immense wealth he accumulated during his successful NBA career. Jordan's iconic play on the court and his numerous endorsement deals have helped him amass a net worth of over $1.7 billion. That's billion with a B. Number 4, a check for a drug dealer. Back in '92, Michael Jordan was called to testify in a money laundering and drug trial involving James "Slim" Bowler, a known drug dealer. During the trial, police discovered a check for $57,000 that Jordan had written to Bowler, and it was revealed that it was to clear his gambling losses from a game of golf. This incident sparked a lot of talk and speculation about Jordan's supposed gambling addiction, despite the fact that $57,000 was a relatively small amount for one of the wealthiest athletes at the time. People then also began to question whether Jordan's gambling habits had spiraled out of control. Number 5, losing $5 million in one night. Michael Jordan has always had love for gambling, but it doesn't mean that it always worked out in his favor. Gambling is a risky endeavor, regardless of one's level of skill or experience. One of the most significant losses in Jordan's gambling career came in Las Vegas at a craps table. Oh boy, you know the house always wins. He was known for going big and trying to score a home run, but unfortunately, that night was not his. He lost a staggering $5 million, which although may not have affected his billionaire status, it was still a significant blow to his bank account. Moreover, Jordan's competitive nature meant that losing was something he couldn't easily accept. He would gamble and bet on anything, no matter how high the stakes were, and would often chase his losses. He was known to be a risk taker, not just on the court, but also in his personal life. He would try his luck at pretty much anything. Gambling was just another way for him to put his skills to the test and see if he had what it took to come out on top. Michael Jordan's gambling habits have been a topic of discussion amongst NBA fans for a long time. Back in 1993, Jordan had denied having a gambling problem, insisting that he had a competition problem. See the difference? You see what he did there? In the 90s, Jordan would reportedly bet on almost anything, to which he agreed, but explained that it was all because of his competitive nature. In a 2020 interview with GQ, Jordan was asked if gambling was his version of thrill once he retired from basketball. He agreed, stating that gambling was thrilling for him. He compared it to being near a cliff and having to calculate one's options, describing it as a challenge and a competition. However, he clarified that he wasn't addicted to gambling and could go weeks without it. He dismissed people's claims that he had a gambling problem and felt that the better word would be competition. Jordan explained that he likes the thrill of being in nerve-wracking and nervous situations, and he admitted that he doesn't like placing safe bets like most people would. He said if he was sitting at a card game and there was a possibility of doubling the stakes, then he wouldn't shy away from it. He also stated he didn't like the way people assumed him to be addicted to gambling just for the way he played. He emphasized that he doesn't view gambling as a way to make his last dollar, and that for people to look at it that way is to throw a jab at him. So, there you have it, the story behind Michael Jordan's gambling addiction. His gambling has been the subject to much controversy and scrutiny over the years, but it's important to remember that he is one of the greatest basketball players of all time, and his achievements on the court should not be overshadowed by his personal habits. Hey, leave a comment down below with your thoughts, and we'll see you in the next video.